For the past week, we have had a lot of mudslinging between Drake and Kendrick Lamar. Their beef reached a fever pitch this past week, with both of them dropping multiple diss records. Drake claimed that Kendrick Lamar was the A-word towards his fiance Whitney, and that their son was possibly one of his partner's kids. Woo. Then Kendrick came with all of these allegations towards Drake, saying that Drake is a pedo, he has a drug addiction, he dates underage girls, he baits them, he has a gambling problem, he has a daughter out there that he does not take care of, he's not a good father, and all of these things. Well, one thing that I want to address in this video is that the accusations that Drake made against Kendrick, there's no evidence, proof, or anything online. I looked, I Googled, there was never any articles written about Kendrick being the A-word towards his spouse. There's no police reports or anything. There's also no reports or anything out there about his child not being his and being his friends, okay? But it's not the same for Drake. All of the things that Kendrick brought up against Drake, they've been talked about for years. This information comes from reliable news sources, okay? Some of the information I'm going to bring to you today not only came out of Drake's mouth, but out of people from his camp. And some things have just been discussed and we don't know whether they're true or not. But we're going to address all of the accusations. Let's get into it. On Meet the Grams, Kendrick said you got gambling problems, drinking problems, pill popping, and spending problems. He also addressed Drake allegedly having an addiction problem in his first diss track, Euphoria. Back in 2015, Drake was actually quoted doing an interview where he said, "You get artists in this position who go crazy and don't know how to handle it." He said, "These are people who have unalived themselves. There's the overwhelming stress, how tired you are, the weight on your shoulders of going out there and giving 18,000 people entertainment. It's a lot of pressure. Have I sipped codeine before? Yeah, of course. Have I smoked weed? Yes. Do I drink wine? Yes. But do I do it excessively? No. I'm not a reckless guy. I do it all within moderation." So even back then, he admitted that he was doing drugs and substances to help deal with fame. Now this was back in 2015 where he admitted to drinking codeine and smoking weed or whatever. Now we all know what lean can do to people. It has killed people and everything like that. And who's to say over the years if he has not developed a pill addiction? We don't necessarily know for a fact, but we do know out of his mouth in 2015 that he did admit that he did use to cope with the pressures of fame. And to be honest, it was the, yeah, of course I've done codeine. Like, no, it ain't no, yeah, of course. Like, that's just a natural thing to do. That's craziness to me, but maybe it's the generation, I don't know, but that was just not a good look in my eyes to even say that or admit that in an interview. Now let's address the gambling accusation that Kendrick made towards Drake. In an article from February 21st, 2022, it reads, "The Canadian rapper, singer, and actor Drake is no stranger to gambling and has been known to drop wild amounts of cash while having fun at the casino. But recently, the high roller has been posting so many casino wins on his Instagram stories that it's starting to look like he's a professional gambler. That or a gambling influencer. Drake has reportedly bet over $1 billion at Canadian crypto betting site Stake since joining the platform in December 2021, which has left many people speculating whether there's a partnership in place. Let's take a look at Drake's love of gambling and his recent foray into crypto betting. That time, Drake lost $200K in Atlantic City. You might remember how a few years ago, Drake made the headlines when he lost nearly $200,000 at the Hard Rock Casino in Atlantic City when he was on tour. This would financially ruin most people, but for someone whose net worth is estimated to be around $180 million, a $200K loss would barely be a drop in the ocean, as pointed out by his Redditor. Drake loves all things casino, so it's no surprise that the latest addition to his watch collection is a $620,000 roulette-inspired timepiece from Jacob & Co. Now he's betting big in crypto. Drake joined Canadian crypto betting site Stake in December and has been placing some seriously crazy bets over the past few months. Earlier this year, a video was doing the rounds on social media of Drake dropping a single $200K bet on roulette and winning over $7 million. Then he placed a $1.3 million worth of Bitcoin bet on the Super Bowl, which he won. So this is, I'm guessing, where Kendrick got the information, and from maybe other sources, that Drake allegedly has a gambling addiction. I've seen videos where he likes to gamble big on like NBA playing cards and things like that. So I don't know if it's an addiction per se, but the man does love to gamble. So that is another thing that Kendrick pointed out that has legs to it. Now we're about to get into the heavy accusations that Kendrick made on Meet the Grams. In the verse where he spoke to Sandra, his mother, Drake's mother, he said, and I quote, "Sandra, sit down. What I'm about to say is heavy. Now listen, your son's a sick man with sick thoughts. I think N-words like him should D-word. Him and Weinstein should get effed up in a cell for the rest of their life. He hates black women, hypersexualizes them with kinks of a nympho fetish. Grew facial hair because he understood being a beard just fit him better. He got schmex offenders on Hovio that he keep on a monthly allowance. A child should never be compromised, and he keeping his child around him." Then he says later on in the verse, they be streamlining victims all inside of their home and calling them tender. Then leak videos of themselves to further push their agenda. Now that part was really important, and it kind of went over a lot of people's heads because I haven't heard of anybody talking about what I'm about to reveal to you guys. The line, they be streamlining victims all inside of their home and calling them tender. In 2021, the Jasmine brand actually did an article that says, does Drake really have a worker who scouts for potential one-night stands? 2 days ago, Tuesday, October 26, 2021, an intriguing TikTok about Drake, real name Aubrey Drake Graham, began circulating online. Specifically, a user who goes by @Eileen's Garden claimed that Drake has an employee who finds women for the Girls Want Girls singer to have schmex with. The TikToker user stated, "Everything I'm about to tell you is 100% true, and this information came to me from one of the crew members on Drake's tour. This was the guy who did all the tech stuff. He told me that Drake has an employee whose job is to go around town looking for super hot girls. He finds the girls and then he interviews them. And out of all the girls he interviews, he picks the one that he thinks is the best. Then he drives her to Drake's place. Drake has sex with her and then he drives her home. So basically, Drake has his own private Tinder." Now, this is something that's been going on in the industry for years, where artists will have their entourage or somebody scout for women in the audience during concerts or whatever and bring them back home to them for them to sleep with. This is something that has been going on since the test of time, not just with rappers, but with athletes, with musicians, with rock artists, with actors. This has been going on since the beginning of time. So he's not the only one that does this, allegedly been caught doing this. This is like basically kind of like industry standard. But the problem is is if these girls are quote unquote underage. And Kendrick also said then leak videos of themselves to further push their agendas. We all know just a few months ago, Drake released video of himself masturbating, and he admitted that it was him that leaked the video. In his diss record, Family Matters, he says, "You write about F the big three, it's only Big D, and there's video proof." Yeah, he admits right there that he was the one that released that footage of himself. Now, Kendrick's thing is that he did this in regards to reeling more girls in so they can see what he's working with, making them further be like, oh my God, I want a piece of Drake or whatever. We don't know if that's true or not, but that's just another thing that has been spoken about. Now, we all remember the cringeworthy moment during Drake's beginning of his career where he brought an underage girl on stage and was very inappropriate with her. If you do not remember this, or if you never heard about this, take a look. Yeah, he literally found out from the young lady's mouth that she was 17 and said, I can't go to jail yet, and then proceeded to kiss her hand, kiss her cheeks, kiss her forehead, and then kiss her on the mouth. Let that marinate in your spirit. And let's not forget that he was 24 years old at the time. Also, back in 2021, there was an article written about Drake that read 6 times Drake allegedly groomed young girls. Now, we just talked about the first case with this little girl that he pulled up on stage who was only 17. The second case has to do with none other than Kylie Jenner. In 2023, Kim Kardashian and Kanye West arranged for Drake to perform at Kylie Jenner's Sweet 16, a surprise she had no idea about. Drake was 27 at the time, but this didn't stop rumors and speculation that the pair were seeing each other behind the scenes. Rumors of which were given slightly more credibility due to the fact that Kanye West recently talked about how Drake slept with Jenner behind his buddy Travis Scott's back. This was during Kanye's Drink Champs interview, so you can go and watch that on YouTube. Not only that, but for a long time, Jenner and rapper Tyga started seeing each other before she legally became of age and officially announced their relationship. We all know how the Kardashians get down. We all really know how Kylie gets down. She didn't care about age when she was sleeping and dating Tyga, who was 24 at the time. So it really wouldn't be a stretch to think that she and Drake had anything going on. This next photograph from her Sweet 16 party really doesn't quell those rumors. As you can see, Drake is kissing her on the cheek, much like he did the girl on stage. She looks quite comfortable in his arms. And why are you kissing her so inappropriately and she's only 16 years old and you're 27? That's weird. In 2018, Vice published an article reporting that Drake was dating an 18-year-old model named Bella Harris, who is also the daughter of legendary music producer Jimmy Jam. Drake was 31 at the time, but if that doesn't raise enough eyebrows or red flags, finding out when the two met definitely will. Harris and Drake met during the rapper's Summer 16 tour with other rapper Future in 2016 to promote their collaborative album What a Time to Be Alive. At the time, Harris was 16. This is the photograph of when they first met and took a picture with each other. You see Drake leaned in to her chest. She was only 16 and had literally just turned 16 when they took that first picture. Drake was 29 in that first picture. In an Instagram post that has since been deleted, Drake is seen being very close and handsy with Harris, causing people to call him creepy and speculate about the pair's history. Page 6 reported that Drake rented out a restaurant to dine privately with someone who many speculated to be Harris, but the model later denied those claims on Instagram by saying she spent the weekend working in New York City. Child, we all know that it was more going on between them in this photograph when she turned 18. And just to know that he met her when she literally just turned 16, which means he probably had already been having his eye on her and waited until she turned 18, or who's to say that they hadn't already been messing around before she turned 18, and he felt like once she did turn 18 he could go public with it, but people still found it to be weird because he was 31 years old and dating an 18-year-old. Gross. The number 4 person is Georgia Smith. Drake has never been the artist to come out and say exactly who his songs are about. In fact, his breakout song, Best I Ever Had, started with lyrics that reference exactly that and how women will often think his songs are about them. You know, a lot of girls be thinking my songs are about them, but this is not to get confused. This one's for you, he said during the beginning instrumental. However, many people speculate that the song Jaded off of his 2018 album Scorpion is about English singer Georgia Smith, who was 10 years younger than him when they were rumored to be dating in 2017. She was 19 and he was 30 when they were rumored to be dating, which, while still legal, matches Drake's strange track record of chasing after women who are much younger than he. People also believe that a line from the last record on that album, March 14, which is about his son Adonis, is about Smith as well. I got this 11 tattooed for somebody, now it's yours, references Smith's birthday, which is June 11th. Drake seems to like referencing people's birthday, which is something we'll bring back up a little later. Next up, we have Billie Eilish. Billie Eilish, born in December 2001, made a post on Instagram on December 17th, 2019, the day before her birthday, with the caption 18 tomorrow. Allegedly, some jokers thought it would be hilarious to edit a screenshot of the comment section to include a comment from Drake's Instagram account where he said that I've been waiting, with an emoji of streamers and another with a hot sweaty face. While everyone says it's not real and the image is doctored, the joke came from an interview that Eilish did earlier that year with Vanity Fair, where she talked about the superstar rapper. Drake is the nicest dude I've ever spoken to, she said when talking about the famous people who follow her on Instagram. I mean, I've only texted him, but he's so nice. Of course, everyone immediately jumped on this interview and called Drake, who was 33 at the time, creepy. Everybody's so sensitive. A grown man can be a fan of an artist, she said in an interview with Vogue last year. There are so many people that the internet should be more worried about. Like, you're really going to say that Drake is creepy because he's a fan of mine, and then you're going to go vote for Trump. The skepticism from fans also comes from Drake's behavior with the famous actress Millie Bobby Brown back in 2017, 2018. Now, I'm just gonna keep it a buck. I don't think that it's appropriate for a 33-year-old man to be texting an 17-year-old girl at that point. It's inappropriate. I understand that she is an artist too, but you should not be texting a 17-year-old girl. The optics just don't look right. And lastly, we have Millie Bobby Brown. The sixth god himself met 11, played by Millie Bobby Brown from the hit TV show Stranger Things back in 2017, and commemorated it with a post on Instagram. The post was captioned Hawkins' very own, making a play on words with the name of his record label, October's very own, since his birthday is in October. At the time, he was 31 and she was 13. So instead of automatically pinning Drake as a child predator, everyone just thought he was a fan of the show and wanted to take a picture with her. A year later, however, while Brown was being interviewed by Access at the 2018 Emmy Awards, she talked a little more about her friendship with Drake. "I love him. I met him in Australia and he's honestly so fantastic and a great friend and a great role model," she said of the rapper. "We just texted the other day and he was like, 'I miss you so much.' And I was like, 'I miss you more.'" Why Drake is telling a 14-year-old girl that he misses her as a 32-year-old man is unknown, but it gets a little bit weirder. When asked what kind of advice he gives her and about what, Brown said, "About boys. He helps me. Yeah. He's great. He's wonderful. I love him." The interviewer prodded further, asking Brown what his advice with boys is, and she says, "That stays in the text messages." This interview raised a lot of eyebrows and concerns with people, especially given his already shaky history. Brown, of course, responded to the allegations in a similar manner to how Eilish would respond a couple of years later. "You guys are weird for real," she wrote in her Instagram story about the press who wrote about her friendship with the rapper. "I'm lucky to have people in the business extend their time to help me further my career and offer their wisdom and guidance. I'm very blessed to have amazing people in my life." My love, that is how grown men groom young girls. Not to say that he was, but in most cases, when a grown man is texting a 14-year-old girl, 13, 14-year-old girl, telling her he misses her, talking to her about boys and relationships and giving her advice, that's grooming her. That's not, oh God, that is just so not okay. And so I'm wondering, did her parents know at the time that they were texting each other? Like, cause what are you doing texting my daughter? Huh? Yo, okay. On October 9th, 2023, an article was published where Drake threatens violence against critics, telling him to stay away from underage girls, defends regularly texting Stranger Things actress Millie Bobby Brown when she was 14. So the article reads, after 5 years of receiving backlash about the inappropriateness of his relationship with a teenager, Drake is now publicly responding to detractors. And a new song titled Another Later Night off his new album For All the Dogs, Drake raps, "My bank account is Magnolia, Millie rockin' A, weirdos in my comments talking about Millie Bobby look. Bring them jokes up to the gang, we get to really flocking, or send a finger to your mama in some FedEx boxes. Open that ish, it's jaw dropping, really shocking A." Needless to say, the threats of violence did not stop users on social media from speaking out against the controversial relationship. Drake talking about Millie Bobby Brown on his new record is creepy AF, and he's not doing himself any favors, read a commenter's reaction to the lyrics. LOL, Drake mentioning Billy Bobby Brown in his rap and thinking he said something, freaking weirdo, stay away from underage girls, what a cornball loser, exclaimed another person. Someone else tweeted, "I don't know what it is, but Drake has been less and less likable. For me, it started when it was confirmed he was texting Millie Bobby Brown, who was 14 years old when he was 31, that he missed her so much. He also was texting Billie Eilish, who was 17. Fans questioned the rapper's motives for befriending an adolescent. The backlash prompted Brown to address the issue in a since deleted post in an Instagram story. Yeah, for me, there's no defending talking to teenage girls via text. There's just no defending it. There's nothing that you can say that will make that okay for me. I don't know about you all, but yeah, no. The next thing I'm about to tell you does not help with the fact that he has these relationships with underage girls at all. This article came out November 3rd, 2022, and it reads, Drake says he watches the highest tier of the P word in a bizarre interview with Howard Stern, admitting there was no filter. The Hotline Bling star 36 made a number of admissions about his schmeck's life. When asked by the Sirius XM radio host about pornography, Drake said he watches it on a daily basis. Just top tier, highest tier of top givers. The Grammy winner responded when probed about what kind of films float his boat. Sporting a black hoodie with matching headband, Drake continued, that's what I'm consistently on a daily basis, turned into on a daily basis. Like, really, those are the real superstars of the world to me, he added while giggling next to British rapper 21 Savage. The star is single, but shares a 5-year-old son, Adonis, with former porn star Sophie. I can't pronounce her last name. When asked about his dating life, Drake admitted, right now I feel like I get into this habit of dating like 4 or 5 women to make one woman, he said, adding that he does this because I'll like 2 things about each girl, and then he will like what this girl does for a living. Anybody that sits up and watches the P word every day, there's something wrong with you, sir. You just watching it for recreational purposes? Like, that's weird. That's weird. Huh? You ain't got nothing to do? Like, so you, like, when is this happening? At night before you go to bed? Like, at random times during the day? You in meetings, or you're looking at it on your phone? Like, that is like, okay, girl. Kanye has the same problem. He's admitted the same thing, and I just can't. That's just to me. Now let's address Drake having alleged pedos in his camp. Well, this picture that you're looking at is of Drake and his homeboy Baka Not Nice, okay? Here is the tea on him. The rapper Travis Savory, who is also known as Baka and Not Nice, is a Canadian rapper and producer who is a longtime member of Drake's squad. In 2015, he pleaded guilty to assaulting a 22-year-old Toronto woman and not complying with the conditions of his recognizance for unrelated firearm charges in Brampton, Ontario, Canada, which were withdrawn earlier this year. A Finch Avenue court sentenced Travis, 37, to 6 months in jail on April 7, 2015, but he went free because he had already spent 10 months in custody after being arrested in June 2014. Human trafficking and procuring for prostitution charges were dropped. According to Drake's lawyer, Dominic Basile, Travis worked for Drake as security at Toronto events at the time. Drake's Nothing Was the Same album also features background vocals from Travis. The rapper expressed his support for Travis on Instagram after he walked free, per Toronto Sun. Something in the air today, a lot of good things happening at once, but this one means the most. Been waiting for 11 months. Baka finally home, said the Instagram post. Crown attorney Catherine Roganowski told Justice Antonio DeZizo that the alleged victim of human trafficking and prostitution had spoken to police and indicated that she wouldn't be willing to testify in the case. She says she hasn't had contact with the accused and wasn't pressured to not testify. She had moved since then and had not updated the police about her new address. Because the police were unable to locate her, she wasn't subpoenaed to testify. After discovering the victim passed out drunk at home while French fries were burning in the oven, Travis and the victim got into an argument Raganowski said the victim reprimanded Travis and he pushed her to the ground in response. Reading from an agreed statement of facts, Raganowski said that she lay in shock, crying for an hour. After he apologized, the woman, who worked as an escort, contacted police a few weeks later. After an on and off relationship for several months, she and Travis were over. The court heard her identity was banned from publication. Several of his previous conviction, though none since 2007, included armed robbery, assault, the discharge of a pow-pow during a robbery, and possession for the purpose of trafficking. After Travis' guilty plea, his song Live Up to My Name slowly became a hit, gaining over 16,000 Genius page views and 500,000 SoundCloud streams within a month. Travis signed an exclusive deal with OVO as his profile grew in 2017. New York City was the site of Travis' live signing to confirm his partnership with Drake. During his speech, Drake briefly referenced Travis' incarceration. When he got out of jail, there was a lot of different paths he could have took, and he decided to focus on music, Drake said via Genius. So I'm wondering, did they pay her off? Did they scare her not into testifying? But this is not good. He pled guilty. It's just another thing that just doesn't look good, because why do you have somebody like that in your camp around you with so many crimes? I'm just saying. And lastly, let's address the claims from Kendrick that Drake has an 11-year-old daughter that he does not claim. Back in 2015, an article came out that read, a Miami waitress has filed legal documents notifying the rapper, and he has agreed to a paternity test. Rapper Drake is reportedly a father of a 2-year-old girl with a Haitian American woman who works as a waitress at a nightclub in Miami. According to gossip website Media Takeout, the woman has filed legal papers in which she says she had notified the Tuesday rapper of her daughter, and he agreed to take a paternity test. The court papers are said to state that the rapper is voluntarily paying the woman $15,000 a month in child support until paternity can be established. According to the site, the child's mother is a black woman who is brown skinned. Gossip Cop, another site, cited its own source close to Drake that there's no truth to the story. This isn't the first time Drake is reported to have fathered a child. Back in 2014, a Florida woman named Shurkiva Myrick came forward and said her son was Drake's child. She shared on social media platforms, Instagram and Facebook, a photograph of her son side by side with a photograph of the rapper as a baby. He can't deny it. Explicitity of what the media says, she captioned the photograph. However, after the photograph went viral, she deleted all her social media profiles. So we don't know whether or not he has a child or not. We don't know if this is true or not. But for Drake to come out with his last diss record, The Heart Part 6, saying that his camp fed Kendrick all of this false information about him having a daughter and him being a pedo, just don't make sense. Why, first of all, would you feed false information to another rapper about you being an alleged pedophile? That doesn't make sense. That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard, okay? That is so dumb. He went along with the same narrative that his fans was putting out there, that he was feeding false information and setting Kendrick up. That's not the case at all. It's not the case. And with this video, I've proven that these things have been said about Drake for years. For years. Nothing that he said about Kendrick has ever been spoken of or anything. There's no receipts, no gossip, no nothing out there about those claims. But there are plenty about him and the things that he has allegedly done and things that he has even admitted to himself. So y'all take what y'all want from this video, but for me, Kendrick won the war, the beef, the everything. Okay, Drake just needs to sit down and reevaluate his life, in my eyes. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this video. Please make sure to thumbs up this video, make sure to subscribe to my channel and turn on your post notifications so you know when my videos drop. I love you guys, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.